Hey guys, how you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. Today what I have for you guys is yet another movie review. That's right, I was going to see, I wasn't going to see a movie today, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to see a movie today. And what movie did I see? Well, if you read the title, you'll know it's How to Train Your Dragon 3 or How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World. Now, before I even start this review, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my opinion on the DreamWorks, animated movies. Now, I love Pixar. I love Disney. I love Warner Animation, the group, the historic Smallville, the Lego movies. I love, Tintin, Nickelodeon movies, and Paramount. There are a lot of movies that I love that are animated that I truly believe are for all ages, right? For kids, for teenagers, for adults, we can all enjoy them because animation doesn't mean kid movie, it means a different type of film. However, as I've said before, you can spot a kid's film from an animated film a mile away, And in my opinion, I think that most DreamWorks movies are more generally aimed towards children than they are for every age group. I've never been a big fan of Shrek, and I mean, in my opinion, the only reason why Shrek is apparently getting a reboot is because of the meme. Which I do like the meme, but I don't really like Shrek. Puss in Boots is okay. The Croods I didn't like. Over the Hedge I didn't like. Shark Tale I didn't like. Kung Fu Panda, so, I mean, that's just me. But I think most DreamWorks movies aren't the best. However, when it comes to DreamWorks and when it comes to good, in my opinion, good DreamWorks movies, in fact, great, only two franchises come to mind, really. That's Rise of the Guardians, which I do have a tribute on that, if you haven't seen it. It's my favorite DreamWorks movie of all time, and I watch it every Christmas Eve. One of my favorite movies of all time. And then, of course, we have How to Train Your Dragon, right? Of course, How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Now, these movies, the Dragon trilogy, which is, of course, adapted from the books. However, there are more books than just 3. There's a bunch of books. However, there's only 3 animated movies. How do we know that? Well, the trailer literally says the epic conclusion to. So, and when you see the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This is the final one. However, sure, they could do a spin-off of that, right? We've seen Shrek 4 and the Shrek reboot. We've seen Toy Story 4, which, I don't know. I know Toy Story 4 is Pixar, Disney, not DreamWorks, but I don't know. Toy Story 4, I never asked for it. I don't want it. I don't want a Toy Story 4. I don't want a Cars 4. I think that Toy Story 3 and Cars 3, those movies ended on such a great note. Really wrapped it up perfectly, and, with Toy Story 4, it's probably going to be another great movie, but I don't want that, Just like, Shrek 4. No one wanted Shrek 4, I don't think. I don't know. It was an alright movie, but, with How to Train Your Dragon, there's a lot of books, but if they only stick to the 3 movies, right, the trilogy, I think that would do great. It would do wonders for the franchise, because you don't want to overstay your welcome, like, Lego Batman in the Lego movie. He was such a great secondary character. They gave him his own movie, and he was fantastic. Lego movie 2, he's really funny. Just like making Garmadon from the Lego Ninjago movie into his own film. That would work. But if you did that too many times, and I'm looking at you, Minions, you can really F it up. You can really start to go, hey, that's really funny. The Minions are freaking hilarious. And then the 18th time you've seen them, you go, get those noodles out of here. Get that ramen out of here. That's what I'm basically going with this, is that if you guys, DreamWorks, please keep it a trilogy. Don't make a 4th one. Even though I would like a 4th one, I don't want a 4th one, if you get what I'm saying. So, right off the bat, this trilogy is great. I don't necessarily have How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2 in the back of my mind. I do own How to Train Your Dragon 2. I don't own How to Train Your Dragon 1. I need to get that from somewhere. But, of course, I will be, unboxing and reviewing How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, when it does come on Blu-ray eventually this year. However, I don't have the first 2, like, on the, right in the frontal lobe of my memory. It's more on the back burner. Not to say those aren't great movies. They are. It's just, I haven't watched them in a while. So, going back into this movie with The Hidden World, it really, I was like, oh, that's Hiccup's mom, and, oh, that's right, Hiccup's dad's dead, and, oh, that's right, that's that, and that's that person, and Hiccup has a flaming sword and cool armor and a wingsuit. I forgot. Again, that's not to say I don't like it. I just haven't seen it in a while. However, going back into this world, it's very, very apparent that DreamWorks cares about these books and they care about the franchise, right? They don't make this just for kids. And when I went to the theater today, there were kids, yeah. Most of them didn't know what the heck was going on, just like always, which is why I don't know why people say they're just for kids if kids don't understand what the hell's going on. But there were a lot of adults in the theater, which is great. When I saw the Lego Movie 2, and even the Lego Ninjago movie, I don't know about Batman in the first Lego movie, but, you know, these animated movies that are for all ages, it's cool to see adults in, because, you know, you always get that, oh, that's a kid's movie, I'm an adult, you know, I have to be boring. It's for everyone. If you know, that's just a proven fact. And How to Train Your Dragon, the trilogy, is truly an all ages trilogy. However, you know, the first movie was really cool because it set up that relationship between Hiccup and, you know, Toothless. And I never knew that, you know, Hiccup was that young. Sorry if you can hear that, but I never knew that, you know. And when you see the credits, they like play through all three, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, he was really young. He's like 12, you know. So it was really, it's like Harry Potter. It was really cool to see this kid turn into a teenager and then to an adult, and you know, it's very cool to see that. You don't see that a whole lot in movies, especially animated films. But does this movie end on a good note? Well, of course, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but in my opinion, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World ended on a great note for the trilogy. Either that's sad or that's happy. Of course, you need to see it to find out. However, I think that they ended the trilogy on a great note, whatever that note is. You know, again, if you do make a fourth one, okay, but you shouldn't. You know what I mean? You ended it perfect, just like Toy Story 3 and Cars 3. However, onto the real review, now that I've kind of talked about that, it's going to be pretty short, you know, general. Animation, this is the best animated-looking movie that DreamWorks has ever made. It's the best looking by far. There's a scene where Toothless and that, I think it's a Bright Fury or Light Fury, you know, Toothless's love interest, which we'll get to in a second. You know, there's a scene where their tails go through the sand, and it looks so good. I mean, the sand and the water and the, you know, the fire and the explosions and everything, it looks really good. It's probably the best animated DreamWorks movie in terms of its animation. I really do like how Rise of the Guardians looked. However, this one I think takes the cake just because it's, you know, the newest one. So animation is of course great. Voice cast is also, all the returning characters are back. Even Hiccup's father, who is of course dead, he returns, kind of like a flashback, you know. Now, I don't know. I was never really one for Hiccup's voice. I just thought, you know, dragons, you know, we're going to catch some dragons and it's going to be awesome, the hidden world. I never thought that was a good, like, I don't know why they would think, oh, that's a cool voice for a protagonist. I don't know. Maybe they wanted something different. I never enjoyed Hiccup's voice. However, you know, now that he's older, it's still like this, but it's, you know, it's not as bad. So, you know, that is what it is. I'm not saying the voice actor did a bad job. He did a great job as Hiccup. It's just, I don't know why they would choose such a voice, you know, for the hero. But it is what it is. So, voice performance is very strong across the board, of course. As with most animated movies, it's solid and it's awesome. As far as the action scenes, now, most DreamWorks movies don't have action scenes, right? They're more like animated comedies. The How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, though, has exceptional action scenes. And How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is no exception at that, trust me. I mean, you know, if any of my friends watching this, you know, close friends, you guys know me. And I think if you know, my YouTube friends, if you see my tributes, you'll know that I really enjoy action movies with one take. I think having one consecutive shot of moving and going around, I think that's very cool, and it takes a lot of effort to make, and I really love it. And How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, did that for me. And there's a lot of action scenes where it's one take, and there's a lot of funny things happening in the background, or, you know, it's kind of like the Lego movies, all four of those, where you always see things in the background, you know, of those movies. And, you know, it's no change with this one. I mean, you look in the background and there's an action scene and it's one take, or, you know, it's different takes, whatever, and there's so many things in the background. So the action in this movie is just as good as you would think it would be from How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. It's even the best. And then, of course, you get to the comedy. Now, the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is not really the best on comedy. However, I found this movie to be pretty funny. Not all the jokes landed, but for, you know, for what you can expect from the first two, it's there. And, of course, the plot, you know, there's this guy, Grimmel. He's a dragon, a Night Fury killer, and he just wants to kill the rest. You know, it's not the best bad guy in the world. It's not the worst either. He did what he had to do. It was pretty cool. He wasn't Pitch. Pitch Black from Rise of the Guardians is all-time favorite DreamWorks villain. He's just awesome. He's funny. He's sly. You know, he's the freaking boogeyman. I mean, what's not to love about that guy? He's awesome. He's a great villain. Grimmel does not live up to the Boogeyman expectations. However, he's still a good villain for this trilogy. Now, I mean, as far as negatives, I think that there's a scene where Toothless and the Bright Fury, they kind of go on their first date, I guess, dragon date, if that's a thing. And I think that the movie goes on too long in that regard. I was kind of sitting there, like, not bored, but I was kind of like, okay, let's hurry this up. You know, I get it. They're in love. It's funny. They're dancing, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like the animators were like, we don't have enough footage for an hour and 45 minutes. Let's just add 20 minutes of them dancing in the sand, you know. So, again, it's a small negative, but it got a little too much. You know, I wanted the scene to keep moving forward. I mean, other than that, though, there's a few like shots where it abruptly ends, like you see Grimmel, the bad guy, and then boom, it's end. You know, it doesn't have that transition that you would see in most animated movies. And that's not to say the editing's bad. It's great. It's just there's a few instances of that. But other than that, I mean, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is just as good, just as funny, and just as action-packed as the first two, and in my opinion, it was a great end of the trilogy. Again, there was a few little things I wanted that scene to end, and a few of the editing was a little wonky at times, but other than that, it really came together. So I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World an A. I really enjoyed it. Again, not an A+, it's not perfect just because of those two little things, but again, that's not to say it's a bad movie. I strongly recommend you see it if you like the first two, and it's a great end of the trilogy. However, you're going to have to see how that, happens for yourself. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But anyway, thank you for watching. Again, I'm going to give it an A, and we'll see you guys in the next video.